Sorensen. Leading off for Benilde-St. Margaret's center fielder, number 7, Matt Murnane. Batting second, left fielder, number 17, Mason James. Batting third, shortstop, number 13, Zach Carden.
We are live. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Johnny Sorensen towing the slab for St. Louis Park. 2-2 count on a beautiful Wednesday night here at Keller Field. Sorensen, the senior left-hander, looks in. Deals to Hunt, who frames nicely on the outer half. A big strike through you on a swing and miss, and that'll retire the Red Knights in this inner-city matchup. I'm John Fromm, and what a beautiful Wednesday night, May 16th here. And on behalf of St. Louis Park Cable, we just have we've completed the middle of the first, and indeed you're saying, Mr. Fromm, you've really screwed up your broadcast, and indeed you're correct. I walked in late today after stopping at Orange Julius and made the mistake of making a wrong turn, and it made me late to today's broadcast. So shame on the broadcaster to start off, but the fact that hopefully you might recognize my name, John Fromm, my son is Ryan and Kyle, and there you take a look at the Orioles starting lineup. Johnny Sorensen, who you just saw, the senior, not catching tonight, but he's pitching. Derrick hitting second, also a senior. Sorensen and Derrick, both three-sport athletes here at St. Louis Park. Sorensen may go down in the history of St. Louis Park sports as one or two of the greatest all-around three-sport athlete combo packages that not only have I seen, but my uncle was Butch Bakken. As you take a look at Mahmoud for Benilde-St. Margaret's 27. The Red Knights playing the Orioles. This is a rematch of a game earlier on in the year. In case you were wondering, Benilde did win that game. I do have some data for that. I am still in the process of pulling that out. Take a look at both lineups here, but a beautiful night. Orioles donned in their traditional orange and black, the white cross lettering. The Red Knights come across town, making their way east to west down Minnetonka Boulevard as they do. Our crack crew behind the plate, Orioles head manager Brian Kelly. I believe Brian in his 4th year as the manager, but a long storied history at St. Louis Park, a graduate himself who played college ball. There you take a look at Sorensen as he takes a look at Coach Kelly. Gives him the basic hit away, I believe, sign. Sorensen, senior left-handed hitter, takes a look in. Mahmoud, the right-hander, just pitches it inside half. Evan Brown, the backstop for Benilde Jr., tried to frame that. Sorensen, slightly open stance. Outer half, decent frame on a back half by Brown. It's really an art in baseball for the catcher to frame those borderline pitches and be able to pull that ball 4 inches back on the outer half. There's a nice breaking ball, hammered up the middle, goes right to left. Sorensen with good speed, more than likely would have beat that out anyway. Johnny chopped down on the ball beautifully. A boot at second base for the Red Knights. And I apologize with the sun, I'm not able to catch the number of the second baseman for Benilde, but I know that young man made a great effort. That'll bring up the senior Riley Dvorak for St. Louis Park. We talked about Sorensen earlier. Dvorak hitting .383 on the year. He's got a dinger and 4 doubles. Enjoyed watching Riley not only when he was coached at a young age along with Sorensen and a Tim Donahue-led program at the 10AA level and 11AA. Number 11 at, appreciate that help on that. Dvorak squares up. Nice foul ball peeled back into the mezzanine. Really like the lettering for Park this year. I did get a chance to watch the replay of the the St. Louis Park Kennedy game that Bruce Hoberman called a couple weeks ago. You see Dvorak, a star member of the blue line for St. Louis Park for, well, really for 4 years. His younger brother McCabe also played an excellent role for the Oriole hockey team this winter. Sorensen, nice spread league. Got a nice spread league. Right to left. And one thing interesting, just as from my vantage point behind home plate here, Blake Mahmoud, what he does with an unorthodox pitching style, we get a chance to spread rewind on him later. Mahmoud, what he does is he'll go all the way to the third base side in terms of where his plant foot is. But watch how his left leg is so closed. It's a pronounced close pulled across the body. And a pickoff and a wild throw to second in one of the most unusual plays I've ever seen. I believe we're going to have a balk and a stolen base, but the balk should supersede, I believe. Blue, did you call a balk on that? Yeah, because when the throw goes through, see, it's a balk here because his spin and then he releases. It's hard to explain, but his foot left contact with the rubber, ladies and gentlemen, his plant foot when he spun all the way around 180 degrees. So you take a look at Dvorak. Here's the spread and the pitch. Riley going to peel that down the first base line and out of play. We mentioned long-time St. Louis Park baseball player and head coach Brian Kelly coaching at third. Brian, I know, a new addition to the family. And I apologize, but I know Brian's been sharing a lot of joy on the internet with that. And the Orioles have won 8 of their last 10 games, and that in itself is bringing some joy as the weather warms. One chopped up the middle. Throw over to first, and a nice play that time on the backside. That was number 11 for Benilde-St. Margaret's, and I apologize for not knowing that young man's name, but the second baseman, we just don't have a name on. I'll have to find a. We've got to bring up for the Orioles hitting in the 3-hole. The good news for the Orioles on that, it's a productive out because Dvorak, the right-handed batter, chops it on the right side. It allows Sorensen to easily move to third base, and with 1 out to have a runner at third. A lot easier for this man, Zach Listiak, to try to bring him home. I remember this young man as a 10th grader calling numerous park games, and Listiak hitting a robust .458 in the 3-hole with 5 doubles and a dinger. That one squared up nicely. As a left-handed batter, really nice. I always enjoyed. I was a switch hitter. Really enjoyed hit from the left side against righties, like a Murnam, who comes from a closed stance, because he shows. There's a little more time sometimes you get for him to show the ball. More so from the windup than the stretch. But the stretch, if you watch, I don't know if we can focus on that as well. That fastball moved wide, but Mahmoud, what he does with the front half. See how open he is here, fans? His front foot, but then he pulls. what he does is it's a whole new thing in pitching theory. What they do is they open up the front half so dramatically from the set position. Now he's closed here. I don't know if you have a chance of spreading out the camera angle maybe on the next pitch, but it'll make sense as that one's peeled foul. What I was trying to say in the last pitch, and maybe if we could just stay with a wider camera angle, Paul, for this pitch, what Mahmoud does is with a runner on base here, or on third in this case, he wants to keep Sorensen close, so he goes from the stretch position, but he opens his front hip, his left leg, usually dramatically. If there was just a run, see how open he is here? And then what he does is he pulls cross face. What he does is he pulls his left knee up, back so much as towards the shortstop position that what it does is it generates much more hip turn speed when he pulls through. I don't know if you can see this. He's really open here. Then he pulls back with his front foot. Watch this. Up, back, forward. Now that one's going to be chopped to second. Nicely done on the look back and a nice soft underhand play. And oh, my apologies, it's actually number 12, Harrison Shibley, the second baseman. I was told it was 11. That was Shibley, who's seen 3 balls this inning. He does a nice job on those last 2. The ball before Shibley went down on almost all 4s to make sure to stop that, which as a second baseman, you have plenty of time to make the throw to first. You need to make sure to stay square on the ball and let it hit you on the chest. That'll bring up for the Orioles. That'll bring up number 3, Brent Ryan. I know his father well. And of course, Brody, his older brother, Brent, with a nice year, hitting .438, 14 for 32 with a pair of doubles. That one chopped right up the glass. Big athletic family, of course, the father, Court Ryan, I believe a former triathlete. Some great fans here for Benilde-St. Margaret's and Park tonight. But anyway, Brent Ryan, as we talked about, Listiak hitting .458 with 5 doubles. It's almost a daily double. That one's chopped over the glove, and that's going to more than likely. Oh, what a play! And I'll tell you what, if you're an excellent defensive play that time, I tell you, just so impressed. 4 chances on the inning, and Harrison Shibley charges hard from his second base position. His 4th ball of the inning, watch this. Hits off the top of the pitcher's glove. Shibley charges hard, right to left, bare hand throw. Really a quick release, a decent stretch, but by maybe a half of a stride, the Orioles get a run on the infield single. And that's a case where the ball hitting the tip of Mahmoud's glove actually slows down the velocity. So, and Mahmoud, as a tall pitcher, probably thought, well, I can, on a day like this where the sunshine looks like it's right above my head, I can certainly corral any ground ball. And that brings up number 7, senior Shea Peckerick. Shea, of course, already committed to go over to Concordia St. Paul, having a great senior year as well. 302 with 4 doubles. Saw Shea also a home run. Dvorak, we mentioned, with a homer, and Listiak. Those are the 3 long balls on the year for Park. But Shea can take his act and join. That hook goes over right to left. A real slow hook comes in at about 60, 62 miles an hour probably. Shea looks down on it and says, if I'm sitting 0-1 in the count and I don't like that hook, or it's not hanging enough, I'll just live for another pitch. 0-2, 2 outs. That ball up and away, and that'll be move the count to 1-2. Beautiful Wednesday evening here at St. Louis Park as we're sitting near the end of the regular season. Beautiful crack crew on hand, led by Paul Broden, crack director of St. Louis Park TV for a lot of years. Great cameraman. That one shot on the right side on the edge of the bat, and 5 chances in 1 inning ties a major league record for a second baseman on ground balls. Believe it or not, I actually know that. And that is a major league record that was tied. 5 ground balls, and the 5th one is another 4-3 put out. So you don't often see 5 ground balls out of hit the second base in 1 inning. But St. Louis Park does manufacture a run, though, as the Listiak contact on the ball plaques Johnny Sorensen. And Sorensen, the pitcher, helps himself. As we mentioned, Johnny didn't get a chance as we joined Johnny hasn't pitched a lot early on in the season. He's only got 6 innings officially. Did not have a chance to get here early to visit, but I assume coming off a long hockey season after a very strong football season. Johnny really never, I'm just assuming maybe a week of just resting the body might have been nice to ease into the season, because you really want him from mid-May on here, and he's his third appearance already, a minuscule 3.50 ERA, 5 Ks on the season already. Orioles have had some really good pitching by Luke Boyum, the younger son of my old friend, my young friend, Toby Boyum. Toby dramatically younger than me, at least 20 years younger. At least 20, Toby. Hear that? You're only 32. I'm 52. Anyway, Luke done a nice job on the mound with a 2.85 ERA in 19 2/3. We need to mention Will Hannon. Will on the year. I'd love to get a chance to see him. I've heard about him from 2 friends I know that do a little bit of work. And 13 2/3 on the year with only a .51 ERA for Hannon. So Hannon, Boyum, along with Riley Dvorak we mentioned, and Sorensen. And then you've got power arms in the 9th grader, Sam Hunt on occasion. Leading it off, we talked a lot earlier about Benilde-St. Margaret's and the Sorensen going to deal, and Sam Hunt going to take that one off the right elbow, perhaps. Sam, one of the larger catchers you're ever going to see in the United States at his size. Very well put together athletically. Only a 9th grader behind the dish for St. Louis Park. First 9th grader to play behind at the dish at St. Louis Park since I'm aware, since '66. Full time, that is. So, of course, Orioles have really been featured with a ton of good catchers over the year. Leading it off for Benilde, we should mention. This is John Meyer. Meyer takes the curveball, whack towards shortstop. Dvorak, left-right charge, backhand throw. Crosshaired. And that one nicely done on the backside as Zach Listiak on the stretch. So that was Evan Brown. That was Evan Brown retired on the 6-3 putout. And that brings up Henry Brown for Benilde-St. Margaret's, number 2. Brown, do not have a name on, or a number on him, not listed on our score pad, but number 2 for Benilde-St. Margaret's now batting, left-handed batter in that 2-hole. Looks down to the third base coach. We mentioned this game very significant for both teams. Sorensen looks into Hunt. Left-hander deals, that one pulls the string, goes right-left. We mentioned Benilde-St. Margaret's, and these teams played earlier in the season, 6-5. Benilde-St. Margaret's gets the win on April 30th, a game that was at the St. Paul Saints Stadium. Had a chance to talk to somebody. I was at the Saints game yesterday on Tuesday. And really nice for both programs to get over to there. Also, both teams go on spring trips. That one over the middle. Nice take. Like to see him taking balls early in the count. It was a 2-1 fastball, outer half. Or excuse me, a 3-0 fastball, outer half. Not where you want it. You're going to sit for another pitch. Framed on the outer half nicely by Hunt. I believe umpire thought that was just a tad low. I'm a little bit to the left of the umpire and about 30 feet behind me. So and this is Selke for Benilde-St. Margaret's. Selke hitting .219 on the season. From the 3-hole, number 8. Mentioned for Benilde, a lot of extra base hits. Zach Carden, number 13, with 4 triples on the year. Harrison Shibley, the second baseman, with 3 triples. Sorensen picks up left hand. Nice pull through. Had a chance to see Johnny a lot as a 10th grader, and then those years that he pitched for Tim Donahue growing up, and really had an excellent quality sophomore year on the hill for St. Louis Park, including pitching against Wayzata in the section finals. Going a nice block to scoot at the second, right to left. And runner will move down to second base with 1 out. Not sure if Hunt and Sorensen got mixed up, but they're going to talk about it here. Sam reacted possibly like, maybe he said maybe my bad, or I didn't quite get that. Got some honored baseball dignitaries in the gallery. I hope some of them can join us during the broadcast. Absolutely. What a beautiful night here, we mentioned. You take your time. You're a photographer first and a dad first tonight. What a beautiful night. Sorensen will look into Hunt as the 3-hole hitter. Selke tries to fight the sun. Works a 2-0 count. Does get a fastball. Kind of a cookie cutter fly ball to center field. bare hand and a fake on the tag. Nowhere to go there. That was only hit about 280, 290 feet. That'll bring up the DH for Benilde-St. Margaret's. I believe this is Michael Schmidt. Only got 15 at-bats listed on the season for Schmidt with a 333 line score. But if you're... well, I think what we're going to do after this half inning, Paul, we're going to break for just a second, and then I can share some questions, too. And then I can learn a little bit more. Again, John Fromm calling the game tonight on a beautiful Wednesday night. I know Park with quite a run, I believe, not only 8-2 in the conference and Benilde 7-3, so this game with a lot of significance. That one down and in taken. So significant because Park, again, 8-2 in the conference, Benilde 7-3. I believe after tonight, each team's only got one game left in the conference. They both are, Park and Chanhassen are right there. The nice fake there. Chanhassen, I believe, last loss was to St. Louis Park. And Chanhassen's run off, I believe, 9 or 10 in a row, including some wins against, just the other day. I saw they beat Wayzata, and Park's had a good run here. That one shot towards center, left center field gap, and no hesitation. And that's going to play to run for BSM is nicely done on the DH side. And for Benilde-St. Margaret's, they answer the Oriole run in the top half, excuse me, the bottom of the first with one here in the top of the second inning.
Batting third baseman, number 6, Truman Kane.
Truman Kane now batting. So a nice line single to left field will plate the first Benilde-St. Margaret's run here in the top of the second inning. That ball thrown right to left, goes to the backstop. Not a thing Hunt could do on that one. Sorensen, not sure. Johnny's only pitched 6 innings on the season. I don't have a color man here, but just coming back, you might have to, yeah, if you feel like it. Again, John Fromm here at the game just didn't want to talk about Johnny. Seeing him so much the last 2 years, I saw he'd only pitched 6 innings going into today's game. I got here late. Is that because Johnny's working back from a little break after such a long football and hockey season, or some injury issues? Or yes, right. And you have so much pitching too. And better to have him at the end of the year when it's warmer. Exactly. That's what we're talking about with all the kids. This spring again, April 14th. Identify yourself first. Now this is Ian Sandbo. Yeah, and Ian out there on the team, and that one shot towards second base. Go ahead. A little 4-3 put out. Who was that at second that made the put out?
That is.
Apologize.
Toby.
Oh, Luke Boyum. Oh, and Toby was my bat boy in Babe Ruth. Yep. He was my bat boy, my personal bat boy. You know, like the natural. I told him he had to carve my little red Savoy. Oh, I didn't really say that, but so Luke Boyum on the putout.
Luke
but
Boyum taking over for Ian because Ian got.
Oh, what happened to Ian?
Almost 2 weeks ago, he had a concussion.
Ian had a concussion
right here at Keller Field, and was hit. Even though, of course, he had a helmet on, he was hit just below the helmet at the temple.
He's
been out for almost 2 weeks now.
Now tell me about that, because I hit a young man in the temple, and I always wondered, how is the first week been, and is there a lot of residual pain?
I think he's doing okay, but they're very cautious nowadays for good reason.
With the concussion protocols. And
yeah, so it's
and that's
too bad, you know, the season's so short and he's been out 2 weeks, so that's.
And kind of like happened to Mr. Donahue's son in hockey. Tim Donahue, my longtime friend.
Right, oh yeah.
You know, I know what a hard year that was. You know, what character that must build a son, and similar to what your son is probably going through too on a senior year. But they hope the prognosis just day by day.
Hopefully he's playing tomorrow. And here comes
it is. And here comes go ahead. Let's talk about Luke Boyle.
Here's Luke. Yeah. Luke is a junior.
Luke is a junior, and his son is Toby Boyum, and that's the three, I believe, third-generation family in St. Louis Park. Because Toby was a phenomenal goalie who beat Edina in December 12th of '87 at the rec center. He was in net, Toby Boyum. Well, Park hadn't beaten Edina in hockey in 22 years till that night, and I was at that game.
If your ambient mics are working, you'll be hearing Toby yelling out here.
Toby, yeah, because Toby is one who will be loud like I will. But he was
you have to announce, sir.
I know I should. You go ahead.
It's okay. Oh, Toby
Talk
winds
about
it straight
Luke.
to the pitcher, underhand
So Luke, let's talk a
to
little.
the first baseman.
Luke, I know we didn't give you
One
just
out.
respect for that on that 4-3 put, but we should mention Luke on the year for only junior. You know, hitting at a 268 rate. We mentioned your son as well too, Ian, and he's hopefully he'll come back really soon. And let's talk about good old number 0, Jacob Stillman. Jacob on the year, 333.
I believe he's been at third base a lot.
Yeah, great. Got a good pitcher, good defense. Is Jacob playing any college ball next year? I talked a little bit to Lunch McKenzie about, obviously Shea coming over to join the crew at Concordia St. Paul.
Yeah. Pat
Bordewick, who all conference. Yeah.
He's still a great ball player.
And they run. Did you hear they almost won the championship in the NCC? Runners up. Congratulations to Pat and Shea. Anyway, Shea is going to be joining him at Concordia St. Paul. But what about Jacob? Is he also?
I don't believe so.
But he's a good ball player. That ball chopped towards shortstop. Right, left run and a hard, quick throw. Decent job on the backside on the pick and on the 6-3 put out. Do not have the Benilde-St. Margaret's. If you can help me with numbers, it's really hard to. I didn't get any roster sheets. Is that? I apologize. Just trying to make sure we get the names of the players when they make plays. I believe that was Zach Carton, the shortstop for Benilde, and the nice put out. And the stretch on the front side was Henry Wolf. That'll bring up
Aaron Sledge up right now, left-handed batter, junior.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about Aaron, would you?
Well, Aaron, his dad, Mitchell Sledge, and I coached for since they were 5 years old.
Right.
Up till about age 12 or so. And Aaron's a really fast runner and good batter. I believe next year he's going to be playing every game, I hope.
And he's only a junior, right?
Yeah.
And with this senior-laden class being so strong, just to play varsity as a junior is quite any at-bats. So, and good body, too. And I'm sure...
super fast runner.
And is he related to the former Oriole football star?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's his older brother.
That's his older brother, sure.
I forgot his name. But.
Yeah, well, and then, we'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't want to diminish this young man's at-bat. So this is Aaron Fredge. You had Terrell Sledge, I think was his dad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, his dad is Mitchell.
Mitchell Sledge, yeah. That one shot towards the left field foul pole. And foul.
Will you guys help on this?
It's 1 and 2, 2 outs here. The last of the second inning.
And again, St. Louis Park gets 1 run in the bottom of the first. Benilde-St. Margaret's answers back on a nice single towards left center. Mahmoud looks in. The right-hander deals. Nice, decent framing job on the outer half. Isn't going to quite get the signal from Anderson behind the plate, but we mentioned earlier for Benilde-St. Margaret's, that's Evan Brown doing the catching. We talked about him a little bit in the squeeze out. Mahmoud gets the call. That one, the catcher sets up way outside, and that ball broke way over the inside corner. I don't know if we have video on that, but that was about 10 inches difference from where he set up. But usually you don't get that call, but the umpire gave him that. So that'll retire the Orioles here in the bottom of the second. Again, 1-1 here after 2 for Brian Kelly's team. We mentioned longtime former Gopher and Danny Bissonette on the coaching staff as well. Mike Olson used to be part of that coaching staff. What a night, and beautiful uniforms for Ian and the guys. I only did 2 games last summer, but I got to do the Wayzata home game, and then I got to see your Legion season, and I know the boys went 3-0 against Wayzata last year, right?
Yeah, Legion ball's a lot of fun here in St. Louis Park.
And a lot of success.
Yeah.
You know, it was a 16-year window that St. Louis Park had not beaten Eden Prairie in Legion baseball, and then in 2012 Park won once, and then they won again, and then beating Wayzata as well. It's sort of, and Park's such a smaller school, but the baseball history is so storied.
Baseball's coming up here at St. Louis Park.
And then of course, I intentionally didn't want to talk about anybody individually as we go through the game, but we mentioned Shea going on. I believe St. Louis Park right now has 9 or 10 players playing college ball currently. Yeah. You know, keeping tabs of the guys that played last year and your previous years, right?
Right. So my son Ian, he's going to Hamlin.
Oh, and he's going to play for the Pipers.
Yep, going to be a Hamlin Piper for baseball.
And they play at the Saints Park at CHS, right?
CHS.
I know 6 kids on that team.
Oh.
Yeah, and the Munsterman kid from Armstrong who graduated a few years ago, he loved playing at Piper Village where they got that new Saints Park.
Yep.
You got they have lockers right there, don't they? We're kind of recruiting for Hamlin, and maybe we shouldn't be, but.
Well, anyway, the Hamlin Pipers baseball team played downtown St. Paul, where the St. Paul Saints play.
Exactly.
Field,
Yep.
which, if you haven't been there, is worth heading out this summer to see some ball.
And that's exciting. And was it a tough decision for Ian on where to go? Because he wanted to play some ball, but and he wanted mom and dad. And Mr. Sandbo is an accomplished musician, so Ian wants to be near to see dad occasionally on those nights.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? If our teenage sons would want to be anywhere near us. Anyway, okay, so here we go at the top of the third inning. We have Johnny Sorensen pitching, and that is a strike.
And this is Shibley, the second baseman, who's done such a nice job. We mentioned he tied a major league record he had 5 ground ball chances at second base in 1 inning.
Whoa!
There's a Shibley again with a nice single. And Shibley on the year
Hot shot to center.
Yeah, Shibley was pacing the Red Knights with 8 RBIs, three triples to lead the state, according to Minnesota Baseball Hub. I don't know if I've ever clicked on the triples icon for state leaders, but he is leading the league.
It's the internet. I don't trust it. So.
And I hope he really does have 3 triples, Harrison, or if you don't, I'm blaming on Baseball Hub, please.
Good God. All right, here we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
They're getting what they pay for. Sorensen with a nice breaking ball that Hunt frames nicely. We mentioned Hunt, briefly. We mentioned Johnny after a great football season and a great hockey season. He's going to go down as one of the greatest athletes, 3 sports stars ever to go to the high school.
Pitcher for the St. Louis Park. Right now.
There's a shot back to him. Johnny easily catches it. A cat-quick move on the double play. Did you see how fast the hip turned as he squared himself to first base to throw the ball?
Yep.
After he catches the ball, Johnny, watch. I hope we can show this in real time. Show this in real time. Can you show it real time? Watch this. Last second, boom. In a 1/10 of a millisecond, Johnny, you go over and you double him off, and a lot of guys would not have been able to complete that athletic play.
Nice move.
Right.
Well, and you got to be thinking what you're going to do when you get the ball, and he was.
Right. He was so far ahead of the action, and he partially squared his hips a little before he made the throw back to first. Yeah. So 2 down.
You got to throw the ball before you get him out.
And you don't often see a 1-3 double play, but that's indeed what that was with the Sorensen catch.
He's got a nice curveball here, too.
Yeah, he's got it. I was going to say, so this is Johnny's pitched 6 innings so far in the year. Just a ton of center field.
He's got 1-on-1 here.
17, I believe, for Benilde-St. Margaret's. Apologies. Ground ball to Dvorak. Circles the senior with a nice play. Takes plenty of time and has plenty. And a nice flip over to Listiak on the 6-3 putout. And I believe we got a nice 8-pitch inning.
Nice.
And that's really nice after to just, he got nicked last inning, Johnny. Just a tiny little nick. The senior comes out. We mentioned how he started the championship game in the section 2 years ago as a sophomore.
Yeah.
And then Park last year goes 3-0 against Wayzata, including Legion, and Park's had quite a season so far. We mentioned 8 out of the last 10 the team's won as it's warmed up. Frustrating in early April with that awful weather, but how did the guys respond to it, Ian and the crew?
Well, they're itching to get outside, of course.
Right.
But it's finally gone from, we had about a nice week and a half of spring, and here we are in summertime.
Summer.
Yeah.
And I was over in South Dakota. My son Ryan graduated on the 5th.
Oh, right.
And then, and by the way, we'll talk about and it was 80 degrees all 4 days. I didn't come back. I stayed in South Dakota until Tuesday after the graduation.
Got a palm tree and lay out in the sun.
I drove the convertible. And I might be solo now after the divorce, and that is true. I can give out cell phones if you call into the TV station. I'll leave my number with Paul if you find me amusing.
Well, and you can leave your card with me. They make great bookmarks. Anyway.
But again, that's John Sandbo, and he's not just a musician. He's a comedian full-time.
We're here all night. Try the veal.
Yeah. There's Brian Kelly. Is he newly with a child? I mentioned Brian just had a kid. I forgot. I don't know. I just heard that.
Yeah.
He's a lot of bounce in his step. I believe Brian was a 2000 grad. I love the fact that, in Brian and in Danny Bissonette, you got Park guys coaching. Yeah. I mentioned Toby Boy and son Luke. Yeah. And take a look at one of the big young studs.
Shay?
Number 5, Sam Hunt.
Oh, Sam, man.
Sam
is so much bigger than last year. I don't even recognize
him. He is a Vanderbilt recruit as a 9th grader. The athleticism at 6'1", 190 for a 14-year-old is really something he's been working since he's 2 years old, I'm sure. 3 years. I mean, as enjoyable. Look at the
Well,
size
there's
of
child
the ninth
labor
grader.
laws. What are you talking about?
Yes, I don't know Mr. Hunt, and I'm not saying that, Mrs.
No.
Hunt. I know nothing. I know nothing. I'm like Sergeant Schultz.
Yeah. Hogan.
I always
For
loved,
Reminder fans,
you know,
could you please return
that was Sam
foul
Hunt,
balls to
again,
the
the
game?
ninth grader.
Thank
Was
you.
it and we mentioned on the year, one of the things that's really difficult in high school baseball as only a ninth grader too, I believe he's thrown out 3 of the 10 runners that have tried to steal against him, which is an excellent 30% rate.
Oh,
You know,
great.
let alone.
Well,
but you know, when he had
we're glad to have him because our other catcher,
let's talk about Luke Mobley.
Luke Mobley,
Who hit 390 last year, caught a ton as a sophomore, but tell everybody about his
so
hockey.
he's now going towards hockey instead of baseball, and decided to go this spring, go out and play juniors
At the USHL,
Yeah.
and he got drafted by the Des Moines Buccaneers. A friend of mine is an owner in that league,
Wow.
and I told him that he really missed out on Mobley. They
Okay.
thought they could get him in the 4th round.
It is 1-2 here with no outs in the last of the 3rd inning.
And again, this is Sam Hunt looks in as Mahmoud takes the sign. That fastball hits sharply to second. And 7th chance of the game since I've been here.
Wow.
Including 5 last inning.
Pitcher,
And I don't,
Johnny
it
Sorensen.
needs to be said, I do not know number 12, Harrison Shibley at all, the second baseman. But when he tied the major league record with 5 ground balls in the 2nd inning, all on the ground.
Major league record.
Right.
Wow.
Of chances in an inning by a second base, at one position by a second baseman.
Wow.
That's a lot of ground balls for him. He recorded all outs.
Left-hander Johnny Sorensen up to the plate.
And Johnny, we mentioned, scored the first run of the game tonight's
Inside pitch by the catcher to the fence.
When I did 2 football games in the fall and then watched numerous hockey games this winter, did Johnny decide to go with football and St. Scholastica, or what's the latest on what he's doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to get the grapevine action for my senior son.
There you go.
His
Sorensen
teammate.
just about does what any Oriole fan would love to see, a hard line shot right towards the Benilde dugout, hits a fence, everyone's safe, but just that slight intimidation, right?
Scary. Okay.
As if you could point your foul ball.
Right.
Mahmoud looks in that open position. You notice how he keeps
his glove high before he pitches.
We talked before you got here that you only see about 5 to 7% of pitchers open so much from a stretch position with no one on base.
Yeah.
But watch the torque he gets on the backside of his hip because of how he gets a little more momentum pulling back.
Yeah.
And then, but he's still so slow with his arm. He has so much more speed to gain out of his arm, you know, as he builds strength. So it'd be fun to watch Mahmoud, the pitcher, as he gains. Got to have an impressive role for him too.
2-2 to Johnny Sorensen. 1 out here, last of the 3rd.
Ball shot towards second base. Another chance by Shibley. 8 chances and at least 5 outs recorded. Johnny runs hard down the first baseline. Gives that great effort that he always does. That'll bring up Dvorak, the senior. We mentioned Riley. We talked about Johnny being a great 3-sport star. You know, Riley, 3 great years on the blue line for St. Louis Park.
He's a defenseman?
Yep, fantastic defenseman. His brother McCabe will be coming in for football and for hockey.
Wow.
A great hockey player for the ninth grade. Here's Riley.
Right-handed batter.
Riley banging at a 383 clip with 4 doubles on the year. Saw him and Peckerick just cream balls at as sophomores at Parade in that defeat over Southwest. One of the most impressive offensive games I've ever seen at any level of St. Louis Park baseball.
He can hit.
When they creamed that Southwest team as sophomores, right?
He's going to St. Thomas. He'll be on the St. Thomas baseball team next year.
So he's joining Joe Burnley, who will be one of the captains, possibly. And Burnley, of course, a 15 Park graduate.
2-0 pitch.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And what a great program St. Thomas is on the D3 level. And Park's got a long bloodline there. So congratulations to Riley. And like your son, they'll be in the same conference. That'll be kind of fun, too.
Each other.
Yep.
3 balls, no strikes to Riley Dvorak.
Mahmoud squares up. Really throws across his body as a right-hander. Again, he starts closed here. You'll notice how he opens. He opens so much. And then as he closes with that front hip to gain velocity, he throws across his body partially. If he squared up just a tad with his hips, he's got 6 to 8 miles an hour easy in there still in the future. 3-2 is Riley. Gonna take a whack at that fastball, and Riley got what he wanted. Just missed by a tad on that.
3-2 here, 2 outs. They'll be on base.
And what about Zach Listiak? You know, he's had such a great season. 458 for the Orioles, 5 doubles, a home run, just phenomenal numbers. And Brent Ryan hitting 438.
Brent's a great.
Yeah. There's a shot towards third, and an Olay played at the hot corner for Benilde, and Dvorak going to be retired. Not sure the name if we do have a performer at third, but he's wearing number 6 for Benilde-St. Margaret's, and he made a nice play. Ed Kinney, nice job for Benilde-St. Margaret's third baseman, Kinney. I thought his last name might have been Hoover, of course, because that was sucked up like a good vacuum cleaner at third.
Frugal Hoosier.
Hoover at third, named Kinney, retires Dvorak. So exciting. And how long ago did Ian, let's talk about your son. How long ago did Ian decide on Hamlin?
Well, he tried to get into a couple of colleges, and you know, a lot of managers, coaches they're darn busy.
Just a tad busy.
Yeah. The coach over at you know, all the fellas nowadays have to have videos, and so they sent him a video, and he liked the swing. Boom! I want you on the team. Nice.
Right.
Because we were worried. Because he has baseball. His love is baseball. So. Yeah.
And what about in a little bit of background on? And an Oriole legend has appeared as Court Ryan. Potentially, in theory, he graduated in '85 from Hopkins. Still not happy that
in
your
reality
Royals could not have let St. Louis Park win this year, right? But Court Ryan going to join us. We're talking about some of where the kids are going. Tell us a little bit about Brent's decision to go to not DePaul, but
DePaul University. Yeah, in Greencastle, Indiana.
Wow. Here, you take this.
Yeah, Brent took a recruiting visit down there with Mom for 4 days and fell in love.
For 4, if you test, can you hear me okay, Paul? Test backside, is that okay? DePaul University with Mom for 4 days. And wait a minute, you guys are still together?
We're still together.
I thought had to go there,
Well, she's in Prague, you never know.
She's in Czech. Oh, wow, that Eastern Bloc. Well, little inside humor, but this is public access. We keep it very PG. We're back to live action for Benilde-St. Margaret's. Mark.
I love it. Good to be with you, Frommer.
Yeah, it's great to have you, Court. We did a few innings last year, and I couldn't do the game last week, and then had somebody lined up. I think you know him, Tony Oliva, but he couldn't come in and sit with us tonight.
Well, it's a crying shame.
He doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, that's okay. I speak Spanish too. So
I was going to do my half in Norwegian and have Tony answer in Spanish, and then we'd see if we could submit it on behalf of Paul for some type of a cultural diversity award in announcing.
I think it's
covering
fabulous.
2 sports in one broadcast.
Why wouldn't we? I mean,
and it's all about us. It's not about the game and the fact we're 1-1 in the top of the 4th. I got here at the end of the first inning, saw Johnny's last out. That breaking ball going to be popped up. Got a good read on that behind the plate. It's going to shit. Wow.
Out of play.
It did hit upstairs because it fell into foul territory on the grass. I don't know if you could see the replay of it, but it must have hit part of the light embankment or something. Possibly and redirected, Court. I know you being a physics major at RPI.
Yes. Well, I was trying to figure out the angles there right now, Frommer, and
geometry was your bag.
Yeah, well, every other Thursday.
Or comedy. When you talk about angles, I think about comedy and Court Ryan. So
always a good time at high school baseball.
Remember, as you're watching these replays, the sound of, you can always hit the mute button on occasion if you'd rather just watch the action, but we'll try to keep us back on track. So this again this is Zach Carden. Carden, we mentioned him earlier. Maybe before you guys joined us, 424 on the year for Carden, 4 triples, 2 homers, 16 RBIs, leads the state. Haven't seen him before. Can you tell me much about him? I just only watched the 4 at-bats, and I kept it light, so I didn't want to put too much
his last 2 at-bats, he's walked, so obviously he's got a good eye.
And a good scouting report. And you know what? A good challenge for him. If he's hit 4 1/4 against your premier lefty and Sorensen, he's got a repertoire to mix it up. Good to see the lefty-on-lefty matchup.
Yeah, I agree.
Good to see it.
Yeah, always fun.
Right.
Never a dull moment, lefty-on-lefty, Frommer.
Again, this is public access. Always keeping it real. Always keeping it clean.
With two of my favorite people here. I mean, you know.
An amateur.
You, yourself, and who?
Yeah.
Little humor there. But this is Evan Brown from BSM. Evan, 382 on the year, 6 RBIs, only a junior. Like Orioles freshman catcher Hunt, good big kid for an underclassman. You know,
I think he got a hit his last bat.
yeah, he spanked a single towards left center. Sorensen looks in way ahead. Looks like that's your. Did Johnny pull the string a tad? I didn't think the velocity was different, but the swing plane, he was literally geared up for a ball that was there.
Yeah, he was way out in front of it, but you know that happens.
You mean he can make mistakes?
Well, every other Thursday.
Evan Brown, you're allowed to make yours. Sorensen looks in. Hunt pinches out on the right side. Class foul in the corner. That ball shot up. Sorensen's glove. Dvorak with a dive play. Backhand and a.
Oh my God!
6-4-3 double play. Put that on YouTube. Send that all over the world.
You can't
put
make
it
that
on
up.
Twitter. Put it everywhere in the northern hemisphere.
Riley
that is a
Dvorak.
6-4-3 double play of the decade. Watch this ball hit off Sorensen's tip. Dvorak with a dive. He somehow makes it backhand flip.
Boyum
and
throws
the finish,
to first.
Boyum finishes.
Oh my God! I just was glad I was here to witness it.
I'll tell you what, Twitter Nation, you take that national, you Snapchat the living daylights out of that, kids.
And he comes out with a strike on the first pitch.
And let's monetize that on YouTube, and we'll all retire. We'll retire within 48 hours of this thing going national. So. And Riley, we'll cut you in since you made the play. Riley gets all the money.
He gets all the money. Hashtag ParkTV.
And Riley, I know you're going to St. Thomas, so if it's not a full ride at a D3, which isn't allowed to offer $1 of athletic scholarship.
Yeah,
we'll
well,
just figure
guess what? He
something out.
just gained a few more bucks right there, farmer. And I'm not joking.
As a marketer. Sorensen peels in and Hunt frames that on the other half. Sam with a nice job on that backside. I think he pulls that in 2 inches too. Gets it. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and
For the Red
Johnny is.
Lions in the top of the
I
fourth,
have not been to
no
a game
runs,
yet this year,
no
but
hits,
Johnny had only pitched 6 innings going in today.
Yeah, he's only. I
asked
think
John,
it's like his second game.
and tell me a little bit about. I know you're loaded with pitching, and he, hits great in center field, and he runs like the wind. And
Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
You know, he's going to go down. We talked earlier.
Yep.
He will go down. For the people that I've seen since 1970, myself, he will go down at least as one of the 1 or 2
best athletes in St. Louis Park.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
football,
all 3
baseball,
sports.
hockey. I mean, you know what?
And
The guy, he can do it all.
And he just is coming back though because he'd only thrown 6 innings on the year. We mentioned how he started in the section finals as a sophomore.
Yep.
But yeah, only 6 innings just because you're so loaded. And I know Boyum and talk about Will Hannon, you guys. I mentioned that
nothing
his
but
data.
strikes. Yeah, you know, Will Hannon, he's not going to overpower you, but he throws it right down the middle, and you know it's confusing to a lot of other teams. He just throws strikes, and I'm proud of the kid. I mean, he rolls ground balls, and he makes the games go by really quick. You know, a couple weeks ago, he threw a 1-hitter. I mean, he had a no-hitter against Richfield going into. Bottom of the 6th until, I'm going to mention this, until Dean McCarrick turned around and said to me, Shay's dad,
a baseball legend.
A baseball legend. He said, have they had any hits? And the next pitch, the guy got a hit. So it was a travesty.
So Dean will be buying me drinks every time I run into him?
Yeah, well.
Really needs to get some good karma.
And now we got Zach Lisiak leading off, and he's been
let's talk about it. I mentioned as a sophomore, first time I saw him was when I think he was in 9th grade in a B squad game. But then sophomore year, but look at 5 doubles on the year, hitting 458. Just the data is unreal.
Yeah.
And you know what I love to see? This right here. In this day and age where everybody's swinging and missing, 6 Ks out of 48 at bats. You throw in the walks and the hit batter. That's great contact. That's a good thing for a lot of your guys, too. Let's talk about Dvorak. 3 Ks out of 47 at bats. That's 1 out of 6. That's 6%. That's phenomenal. Data-driven analytics. The analytics scouted me. Sorry about that, but look at that stuff, right? Go ahead. As he goes down,
he goes down looking. But you know,
Zach, we
maybe
didn't talk. Zach, we didn't talk about you intentionally because when Court sits next to me, it's such a distraction.
Yeah, well, it happens everywhere I go.
Again, ooh, that ball chopped down the left side. And I tell you what, talk
number 3
about Brent Ryan. You know, this is he's going to DePaul, the senior. He's a little bit banged up. Hockey season went great again for Brent, the Orioles.
He had issues with his wrist. It elected to have wrist surgery, and came back guns blazing. It was the best decision that his mom ever made.
Right. Wait a minute. Was it a tiny bit of argument?
No.
I mean, but a lot of discussion
between
mom and dad and son.
Yeah.
Because of the timing.
Yeah.
Senior year. I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, he was looking long term, and it was a great decision. But he came back after 3 weeks, and
and tell him how. And don't just say that he's hitting .438. It's only his 10th game he missed. So he didn't really come back fully and get cleared till April 30th.
Yeah.
May 1st. We're talking just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And it's warmed up, and that's got to help too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the RBIs.
Right. Exactly. 10 RBIs in only 9 games.
Yeah.
And he's so supportive. That ball chopped on. Good. Excellent. Talk a little bit about his recruiting. Did you send the video to the DePaul recruiting coordinator?
Yep, he did. Yeah, you know what I mean. There was a lot of recruiting going on. I mean, he did the usual, sent out emails, sent out videos, and visited a dozen schools, and went down to DePaul and fell in love with the coaching staff, and here we are.
Well, and one thing, you and I have never had this conversation.
Yeah.
But because both my oldest boy Ryan will be pitching next year as a 6-year super senior and one of the captains for South Dakota State, and Kyle is playing at Waldorf, and then my godson played D2 ball. That ball shot hard down the third base side at an infield single, and the good speed of Ryan beats it out as the ball chips away.
And Brenty's 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, I didn't see his first at bat, but talk a little bit about it.
Well, first at bat, almost the same kind of thing. You know, he had a slow chopper, made contact. Brent's a contact hitter, and he beat out the throw, and he's safe. You know, blind squirrel finds a nut, Cromer.
No better example. And visiting 11 schools, and that'll bring up Shea Pekaric. We mentioned Shea going to follow Patrick.
Shea Pekaric.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Playing at Concordia.
Pekaric. Concordia State Ball.
Yeah, he's playing at Concordia. Shea's a beast. You know, I mean, he can go deep on a light switch.
And remember in 10th grade, those balls he hit at Southwest.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And he's got great size, a great multi-sport athlete.
Yeah,
as well.
he hit a bomb at Parade Deep Center.
At De La Salle the other day.
Yep, and
that ball popped up.
Actually, no, I'm mistaken. Well, he hit a bomb, but he also
he better buy stock in Parade Stadium.
Yeah, well, he hit a bomb against Cooper, which was a big one, and Shea can just be careful with this hitter.
And Lunch just loves Pat's work ethic too, and there's a pipeline there with Chris Duda playing at Concordia. That ball shot towards left center, and that's going to plate one, I think, unless we have a circus catch in left. And another human highlight film for the high school level on a beautiful dive play. And for Benilde-St. Margaret's, the left fielder, Mason James.
Yeah, Mason's been hot. You know, the last game Park played Benilde.
Wow.
Mason, he had 3 or 4 hits, and the kid, the kid just seems to be on fire this year. And I'm, great parents, and he's a great kid, and I just love what he does up at the plate and out in the field.
And he's in the top 10 in the state, hitting .545 for BSM, 18 hits and 33 at bats. There's Luke Boyum, the junior, who really made some great defensive plays over at first. Big slugger for the Orioles.
At second. He's at second, but that's all right.
What was that?
Boyum's at second base.
Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry. You know when you said that, I thought you meant the guy who was standing at second right now.
No, the guy standing at second is number 3.
Yes, right, exactly. I knew Brent Ryan was not Luke Boyum body-wise.
Well, I'd like to take a couple of those pounds. So would his dad.
Oh, and Luke with a big cut on that breaking ball. And as he's kind of nibbled around trouble all night for BSM, Mahmoud, the right-hander, he was really their ace. They kind of held him for this game. 20 2/3 on the inning, 2.03 on the ERA, 28-9, 3-1 on the strikeout to walk ratio.
I mean, he's a real deal. I mean, he's got control. He finds his pitches. And he's all over the plate. It's fun to watch, actually. You know, it's great when you're matching up against a good pitcher.
Right.
And tonight's going to be. We got to start hitting the ball. Bottom line, Farmer.
Well, and the game we had last year against Wayzata, where Steinbach brought the crew over,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we won on May 5th, and then the team goes on. Before you sat down, I talked a little bit about one of the things that probably was really difficult for a lot of the juniors last year, including your son, was end of the sophomore season.
Yeah.
You get to the section final against Wayzata, you're on a high with the junior Legion success.
Yeah.
Legion success, and then not the greatest early season, but you get the win over Wayzata, and then the Legion season, and a lot of success.
A lot of success.
And so much at a young age, when Tim Donahue had them at 10 AA and 11 AA, a lot of the kids, just 10, 12 years of playing park baseball.
Well,
talk a little bit about that experience.
Well,
they've
all been, you got 6 guys, six or 7 seniors that have been playing hockey and baseball together since they were 9 years old, and
that's 9 or 10 years, folks.
Yeah, 9 or 10 years, and it's pretty special. And they all get along really well. They're goofy, and I just when they come to the house, I love the camaraderie that they have, and
your comedy must help too, because you give 6 to 8 minutes of your best stuff weekly.
Well, I try from her. It's hard to get a word in edgewise when they're looking at their phones.
Exactly. Their thumbs are in good shape.
Their thumbs are
quality.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about one of my favorite comedy skits of all time. Have you ever heard Tiny Buttons?
Tiny Buttons.
Tiny Buttons.
I love it.
Where you've seen it?
No, I haven't.
We evolve into creatures that have nothing but thumbs, and we just suck our meals through straws.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right.
All right. Bias. I'm in my 50s, and back to live action.
Back to live action, and I got to step away because I wasn't assigned to this shift yet.
Right.
And you know what? The rabbi, Jacob Stillman.
The rabbi.
And let me tell you something.
Talk about the third baseman.
Well,
you're going to leave before you talk about him.
Jacob Stillman. Let me tell you something. He's a brick wall. The AKA the rabbi. I mean, at third base, there's nobody that just. I mean, he's got a quick release. He just is solid, and I don't want to jinx him, but. Man, oh man, if he's not one of the best third basemen in the state, I mean, I stand corrected because this kid is unbelievable.
Yeah, I remember why, and I only, when you guys wouldn't know this, but when Tim was coaching at that age, I've known him since 1982. Yeah. So I was interested as he was coaching, coming out a few times.
Yeah,
how Tim would talk.
Oh yeah.
And that camaraderie those kids had. Success they've had since 10 on. Too,
yeah,
right?
Since 10 on. They just
talk about that a little bit because this is your forum. This is a free chance for.
It's a free chance. No, you know what? They just need to kind of put it together, and there's a lot of pressure on these kids. This is a big game. I don't think St. Louis Park has won the conference in 20 plus years.
Right.
And hopefully they're not feeling the pressure too much. The game is, we're in the 5th inning now, so I think they're pretty comfortable. Atta baby Johnny.
There's Johnny pulls the string, gets a swing and the miss, ball dropped.
Yeah, nice pitch. But I think it's just fantastic. Tonight's senior night, and we're all proud of these kids. And
did you have a program pregame? I got here.
No,
late, but there was some type of a recognition.
No,
for the seniors.
The recognition is going to be after the game, which is a little different than what we're used to. But that's Park. We're a little different.
Really?
And
celebrating after?
Yeah, after. And
well, that's good though. And talk. So just use your form however you want.
Honestly.
No,
my form is listen. I mean, we got the rabbi at third, and I just
that ball shot towards right center.
We got number 3 on it.
Ryan with a can of corn out there. No sun to fight it, but it would be a really tough sun for the third baseman and the shortstop.
Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps. But for the first time in a long time, Keller Field is looking really good. I mean,
a lot of improvements. This class and the kids around us, and it's been a renaissance the last handful of years.
It's been a renaissance and a carnival. I mean, left field's notoriously been underwater from her, and
all the improvements the city made.
Yeah,
talk about that because
you probably don't want me to talk about that, but all I know is right now the field's in great shape. We got a beautiful night. I'm sitting next to my good buddy Frommer, and Dick and Bert have got nothing on us.
And I'll tell you this: I was over at the Saints game yesterday by myself.
Yeah.
And I went to 2 high school games after that.
Yeah.
I love with passing of Derrick Keller in 2012, obviously, that brought a lot of attention to Kimi and Bob Stam and everything did. But for decades, Park's always been a really good baseball team. Somebody has got lost in the shuffle.
Well,
but the equipment to the facilities upgrades has been good. Brian
Now
pushing and
batting for
advocating
St.
your
Louis
strong
Park
group
in
of
the
parents
bottom
as
of the
well.
fifth.
Some of the
Well, the
one-time
kids have
vets
been
too.
the kids have been, you know, you got
Here the
a
field.
handful of kids that are going on to play college ball that have been working. You know, a lot of compliments.
Lot
You
of
know, have to go to
compliments.
to Aaron McEachran. You know, Mac.
Go ahead,
You know, they've
please talk about that, yeah.
they've been training at Max Strength. Max Strength is you know, anybody that's
169,
anybody that's serious about wanting to play baseball, you know, and take their game to the next level. I can't recommend, you know, Aaron McEachran enough. I mean, he's
and you know, he trained my boys.
yeah, I mean, he's just right on. And, you know, you buy in, the kids have bought into his system, and you can tell the difference between the kids that have worked with Mac and the kids that haven't. Not to say that, you know, he's the be-all, end-all, but, you know, he takes their games to the next level, and the kids love it. They go there, they work hard, and they come out here, and, you know, listen, the boys have won 8 games in a row. At least, you know, I'm not a stats guy.
No,
but,
right.
You know, and I see the kids that are hitting, and all these kids that are hitting are working with Max. So once again, a shout out to Aaron McEachran and Max Strength.
And there's an example of a line shot towards center, just slightly.
The rabbi, aka
Jacob
Stillman, just missed it, but boy, he's been solid.
Talk a little bit about Sledge. We only briefly touched
you know,
on him.
Sledge has been, you know, he's a nice addition to the lineup. He's not playing in the field, but he's been hitting the ball. He's been making contact. He's quick as heck, and
and as a junior, just to get even a few at bats with how good that senior group is, right? I
Yeah.
mean, to be honest, it's
I
not
mean,
easy as a coach.
No, it's not easy.
Brian Kelly has a tough job when you have 14 kids that all deserve to start.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, and you know, so he's stepped up. The last few games, I think he broke out at the De La Salle game and had a couple of
Parade, right?
Yeah, at Parade, beautiful night downtown under the lights, great
God,
food by the way,
and good memories for those kids from sophomore year too. To play, you know, and that's. Sledge had a good.
Yeah, he had a fantastic night, and shout out to the De La Salle coaching staff and all the volunteers from De La Salle that put on a spread of pulled pork for everybody at the stadium. And no, I mean, kids were lined up around
By
the
the time they
block,
got done, it was 9:15. And it was a Saturday. It was kind of rainy earlier,
but it was a gorgeous night, and the De La Salle coaching staff and all their parents are nothing but a bunch of class acts, and shout out to them.
That's wonderful to hear. Having hospitality at a high school baseball game when you know there's going to be
having a
parents
5-star meal.
Well, I bet you Park will invite De La Salle back for things of that nature as parents, if nothing else.
I think the kids were eating like they were going to the electric chair.
Oh, and that ball hit off the instep of Sledge. And, of course, what great bloodlines with his father being a former Oriole legend, and then I believe his uncle as well, too.
You know, I'm not sure. I don't know about the history, but that's good on you, Frommer.
Well, yeah, I just don't want to say
you
anything.
are a man of knowledge.
I'm a man of misinformation. But you know what? People don't often see. I have such a great. We
got a full count here.
Full count. Way to pull me back.
I'm pulling you back.
Sledge with a full count.
That'll baby.
Free ride.
That's a great at bat.
Edgar Winter would play free ride.
Yeah,
indeed a
and
walk.
that's what we wanted to see.
And that'll bring up the 9th grader Hunt. We talked about Sam taking over. What we didn't talk a lot about was Luke Mobley's decision. The tough one that it was when I talked to Luke, and that's just as a person. But Luke got drafted in the USHL, but that opens up time for a 9th grader to start behind the dish.
9th grader, and he's been splitting shifts with John Meyer, and John Meyer's just been just unbelievable. The boys are doing fantastic, and we need Sam's bat to get hot.
And John's only a junior too, so a good thing for Brian Kelly next year.
Absolutely.
When you have situations where you might have 4 games in 2 days, and you don't want to wear the knees out early in the season.
No, well, I mean, I wish I could say that it was, you know, hot weather here in the spring. You know, we've been doubled up on games all year long.
Right.
It always seems that we go into extra innings, which makes matters worse. And
because you want to start tailgating earlier.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, we got moms that are photography. I mean, they're doing everything. Amy Dvorak, there's nobody better at.
And I saw McCabe coming in, and I'm the one that was walking with Chad Austin. Make sure he knows that. But anyway, this is Sam Hunt again batting, and I will let you go after this half inning. I want you to know.
No, that's great. I appreciate that from her.
It's just really nice when ParkTV isn't able to cover a lot. We have so many people that cover events. Oftentimes the announcers come in, and I know you're really well, and you, but it adds so much more when you can talk about the kids too.
Yeah, well,
right?
I've been around the kids for a number of years. I coached the kids for 3 years in traveling baseball, and I was a high
13,
school.
14, 15, and you played at Hopkins.
And
in '84, Hopkins was in the state because I played against all those guys.
Well, I wasn't playing baseball back then. I was a tennis guy.
Yeah. Let's cut. Let's go. Is that a commercial?
Yeah, exactly. Cut the commercial.
You were good for you. That's all. And what great tennis Hopkins too, and Park back then too.
Yeah. Park was okay.
And
we always took him down, but
you did, but not in '83 because we were region champs.
Yeah,
when you were a sophomore.
Yeah,
I'm rubbing salt in that Hopkins Royal Loop.
Well, you're fine with that.
Sam goes down with that one.
Here we go. We got Johnny Sorensen, aka Soso.
And we were talking earlier, talked a lot about Johnny, going down as one of the greatest. We spent with Riley too, and your son, and your older boy, the great tennis all-stater.
Johnny's got a good lineage of athletes. His grandpa on his mom's side, Paul Wiggins, was the former Stanford head coach.
The band play.
The band play. He was the head coach at the band play. He's also still an honorary coach for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
I mean, every time,
yeah.
I mean, he is my hero. If you anybody that ever has a chance to talk to Paul Wiggins, you want to get a wealth of knowledge about sports, go stand and talk to Paul.
Yeah, and I didn't find that out, not because my kids are class of 16 and 13 until I met Mrs. Sorensen years later.
Yeah.
That ball shot towards second base, and another chance, I believe the 9th or 10th of the game for
to
Shifley.
second base.
And he had 5 in the second inning, which tied a Major League Baseball record for, I'm not kidding why I know that, 5 balls all hit on the ground to the second baseman in 1 inning, and all balls.
You said,
you
said you're not a stat guy.
It's a surprise I'm single knowing something like that.
Well, I mean, look at what you're wearing.
No, I'm not Mr. Ostead, but Mr. Ostead is here. And I was watching with Chad, and then I said, because I enjoyed watching McCabe as well as Riley. In case you're wondering, we're live here, just getting on Community Access, visiting with Mrs.
Amy Dvorak.
Amy, would you mind answering a question now, since they've heard for 2 minutes?
I mean, the
McCabe,
mom.
Your youngest boy, a 9th grader, Riley, a senior. Riley going to St. Thomas. We heard to follow Joe Burnley, who I think he's had a great junior year. Do you guys know the Burnleys very well?
Nope.
Joe is going to be probably one of the captains of St. Thomas. He's class of 15 from Park. Did you ever see Joe play much? You were so busy coaching, but yeah. That'll be cool, though, his decision to go there. Because we talked about your son's decision to go to DePaul. And then Johnny is going to, is it St. Scholastica?
He's playing juniors.
Playing juniors, like Luke Mobley, who just got drafted. And Riley, gosh, and those are such hard decisions when you're 2 or 3 point stars and you get a chance to think about if you want to do them. It's so hard to do more than one in college, though. It's like they have to pick. It's so hard. But Riley's going to play baseball at St. Thomas. Joe Burnley will be a good renter for him.
Yep.
Great pipeline over there. That's at least the 8th Park player at St. Thomas now.
I think there's a girl going to play soccer there as well.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. And Riley, what a great, we were talking earlier about how Riley and all the kids were coached at a young age in traveling ball and 10, and Mr. Donahue, Tim, who I've known since he was 8 years old, I guess. But yeah, I mean, just great. Love that how they all stuck together in all the sports and the friends, and how much they love going over to Court's house, and he gives them 6 to 8 minutes of his best material once a week.
Over there.
I want to be invited. Really? Oh, okay. But just great memories. And McCabe, what a great fun future he's going to have all the years you've had. Any other, just the 2 boys?
And then Josie, she is a 5th grader.
So many more years of the Dvoraks running around here.
Oh, yeah. She's probably the best athlete of the
Is it a breeding of athletes? Really? Well, I will let you probe with your questions on that. I am not elaborating any further on that comment. Back to live action. You guys have a good night. And again, that's Amy Dvorak, mom of Riley Dvorak.
Yep, Court with a Q. Signing out.
Can't find him on any internet broadcasts. So back to live action. We chatted a lot. Chatting with senior parents tonight. And again, it's senior night at the game. So for Johnny Sorensen, a senior, to get the start, along with Riley Dvorak at short and Jacob Stillman at third. Zach Listiak at first. Ian Sandbo injured and not playing today, but quite a collection. So, along with Shea, along with and Shea. Johnny going to get the swing and the miss, put the count at 2-2. This is Harrison Shipley again, the second baseman. Two on the day, swing and a miss, so the bottom falls out of that breaking ball. And going to be retired on the 2-3 putout is Shipley, the second baseman. A nice swing and a miss, so just a great outing as Johnny only have so far only one hit for Sorensen allowed through 5 1/3, and only 2 hits for Benilde-St. Margaret senior right-hander Blake Mahmoud. And again, whoever wins the conference championship. Because Chanhassen has only got 1 loss in the conference, but due to some schedule, Park would be the champion. So what a surprise! We got a doozy going here. Paul, can you hear that at all? Paul, can you hear that? Can you hear that okay? They switched the microphone, sorry. Okay. Well, we're back if you didn't hear me announce it earlier. A 1-2 count with 1 out here in the top of this 6th inning. Johnny Sorensen has gone 5 1/3 with only giving up 1 here. We're here in the Orioles 8-2 in the conference. That ball slapped to the foul. Danny Bissonette running out to get that foul ball. Good, Danny. Foul, ball shot up towards short. Dvorak going to charge from his shortstop. And all in one motion, the quick throw over to Listiak, and a nice job retiring Shipley. So 2 down here in the 6th. We are 1-1 here on a beautiful Wednesday night. And that brings up Mason James. We talked about that great catch in the outfield, his hitting earlier. He leads BSM with a .545 average, 4 doubles and 3 singles. Got here, he was listed as 31 on the roster, but he's listed as 17 is the number he is wearing. So he and Carton both hitting over 400 for BSM. That breaking ball just misses as Ryan puts a squeeze on it. Probably about 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. And make sure you get out and watch some of the St. Louis Park Town team. Preseason, I believe, #1 in the state for Town team. A lot of former Oriole greats like Chris Judah and Matt Paulson still starring for them. Pat Bordewick will be back playing with them, I'm sure. He did a great job. Sorensen, the senior, looks in. Count 2-1 to James. That breaking ball just misses outside on a nice frame job. Like he tries to take a little off of the changeup there. Count going to move to 3-2 with 2 down. Sun's starting to drop where it really is an issue in left field here and at third and short always for night games. When they were designing Dakota Field back in the 50s. Is that ball going to miss for balls 4? So a 2-out walk for James, and maybe not the worst thing for the .545 hitter. That'll bring up,
Shortstop,
if probably offensively the best 1-2 punch right now, average-wise in the conference. Although Listiak and Brent Ryan are making a name for themselves. Zach Carton on the year with a .424 average, 4 triples and a pair of homers. We saw him earlier get a walk. Fake on the first pitch as Ryan fires out of his crouch. Nice job framing that outside corner fastball. Again, this is Zach Carden with James at first. 2 down here in the top of the 6th inning. Who just joined us, a run in the bottom of the 1st. A curveball going to be popped up on the left side. Ryan with a beat on it. Will he have room? Does it just pop and go out on the blacktop? Just misses. Nice job by both Sorensen, Stillman, and Sam Hunt to go get that foul ball, but it just peels foul. I mentioned Carden with 16 RBIs in only 12 games, one of the leaders in the state. James with 10 stolen bases, so he's a big threat to go. Nice to have the lefty to hold him on here. Sorensen tries to freeze him, locks him up there. And he adds a little velocity on that fastball, but it's about 3 inches outside. But Johnny really wanted that one, and that's that competitive fire that he had. We thought maybe went right to left. I'm going to say it didn't. Pushes the count to 2-2. Sorensen picks him off, and indeed he does. Throw down to second base, and an out recorded on the throw through. So Mason James picked off on a nice spice move. Nicely done by Johnny Sorensen as he throws it over to Zach Listiak. The throw down to Dvorak, the quick drop tag. You see, look at, and kids, I don't know if we can replay this 3 times. There's so many life lessons. The drop tag, umpire, just a beautiful drop tag. And see where Riley leaves the drop tag, kids? He leaves it 3 feet in front of the base, because that first base umpire is so far from that call that he's got to for sure tag him before he reaches the bag. But I was going to say that was nicely done by Johnny. Paul, I don't know if we have the replay of that pickoff play, but Johnny did so many nice things later on of selling that pickoff move and showing it, including fake freezing and going towards home plate, and then on his leg lift at his point. Just watch this technically from a point of view of a pitching coach. Johnny's going to freeze him here. Now keep in mind that young man at first, 10 steals. Look at that huge lead. Stop. And if you can replay that again, I don't know if we have the ability to slow that down, his pickoff attempt. I just wanted to point out something. I just think it's wonderful to share from a baseball team, if you have a second. Again, we're heading to the bottom of the 6th inning here, tied 1-1. Stop. Why do you pick up? Stop right there. No, stop. Look, ladies, kids, now look where Johnny's eyes are. He's totally geared on home plate. Look at the angle of his front right kneecap. He has to point it directly at first base. But because he sells looking at home, and then go forward just a tad here. Stop. Let it go. Keep it going. Boom. Anyway, the important thing here is he follows through hard with his throw to Zach. If he doesn't follow through hard on the pickoff, once he's already picked him off, you're not going to get him at second. So Riley, he just stayed athletic through the whole process, delivers a strike to the first baseman and a nice drop tag, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Riley Dvorak. Takes that ball outside for 1-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, again, St. Louis Park 8-2 in the conference, BSN 7-3. Orioles 1 run on 2 hits. Sorensen scored the first run. That curveball beautifully done. Boy, just a tad higher outside. Nicely executed there by the senior Mahmoud. As I mentioned, Mahmoud with a 2.03 ERA on the season going into the game. That ball peeled away. Then not counting today, well, of course, he's only given up 2 hits in 5 innings. So he'd only given up 17 hits in 21 innings, 28 Ks, only 9 walks. An excellent .71. That curveball whacked into the hole towards third. A beautiful play on the left side. Low throw over to first base is going to get by the first baseman, and indeed must. And then Dvorak going to quickly put the brakes on. There's not a lot of foul ground here. So a beautiful job on the left side of the Benilde-St. Margaret's infield. That I believe was the third baseman, number 6, Ed Kinney. We saw him make an Ole play earlier. Throws it over to first. A nice job on the backside on the pickup. But unfortunately for BSM, the first baseman, Henry Wolf, could not pick that up. Dvorak reaches, and that'll bring up. So with a leadoff ground ball here, brings up the Orioles' top hitter, Zach Listiak. Listiak squares for the bunt. Tries to pull back. And unfortunately for him, he does get a piece of it, so that ball's going to be fouled straight back. Coach Kelly going to signal a bunch of things down from his third base coaching box. Dvorak, somebody he can hit and run with, can also straight steal. Riley with 5 steals on the year. He is the leading base stealer for St. Louis Park. 9 walks as well, and a phenomenal .491 on base percentage for the St. Thomas bound Dvorak. Listiak in a square, pulls back. That low fastball is low, nicely done. Pushes the count to 1-1. A lot of options here. Because you got a left-handed hitter, kids, and the first baseman's holding, ton of room on the right side to just hit a ground ball through because the first baseman's so up, and Listiak has that kind of bat speed. But they are going to square him away, throw over to third, and a nice execution of a play that time by Mahmoud. As you want to follow through and make the pickoff attempt on with a hard charging Kinney coming from third. Kinney in on the grass again. Squares for a bunt. Now throws a 2-1 breaking ball. Listiak, we mentioned 458 on the season with 5 doubles. Pops it up, pops over the head of the third baseman. Let's see if he's going to pick it up. It goes foul. There's a play I've never seen in all the years of baseball. A 2-1 bunt play. He bunts it in the air. The third baseman has charged too much on the square. It goes over the third baseman's head, but rolls foul. Never seen that before. That's a strange play. So count will move to 2-2 here, and I have a feeling that in Zach Listiak, honestly, if you haven't bunted a lot in a game situation, or a pressure situation, the most important thing is to get it down, so he's got new life. That ball shot was a fastball in the outside corner. He spoils it and hits it off the fence. Of course, for St. Louis Park, Brent Ryan in the on-deck circle. Another potent bat in the Oriole lineup. So senior-laden with Listiak, Ryan, Dvorak, Stillman, Derrick, Sorensen, Sandwell. That curveball going to miss outside. Throw through going to be low. And even better, a tough, when you've got a left-handed batter's kid, good call by Coach Kelly on the 2-2. He goes to the breaking ball, and with a left-handed batter, much harder for the catcher to throw through, so much dramatically harder. And indeed, the catcher did not pop out of his crouch clean and did not deliver a good throw. So you basically steal the bag. You full count, nobody out. And then you got Listiak in the spoil bag, and now he got a chance with a ground ball here. Now all Zach's trying to do is hit a ground ball on the right side. Just move this. He wants to move the runner over to third with 1 out if he can. Full count. Assume you're going to get a fastball, but more importantly than anything, he wants to get on top of it and pull it on the ground. And he goes with a high fastball and nicely executed. He does not want him to pull this pitch. He wants him to hit it on the left side to leave the runner at second base. So he's going with a fastball. He's set up outside this time. That freezes on the corner. Indeed, that is strike 3. It's a beautifully executed pitch. Freezes Listiak on the outside corner. And you're going to have a momentary break as Brent Ryan can be called to plate. We don't have a real good angle from directly behind home plate. It's tough to read the pitch, but I did think that was a pitch that shaved the corner and nice, definitely a well-executed pitch by Mahmoud, who now has gone 5 1/3 himself, only giving up two hits. Again, this is John Fromm joining on May 16th, a beautiful Wednesday night here in St. Louis Park. Should mention that the St. Louis Park town team is holding preseason with Chris Duda from the class of 2000 and Matt Paulson and a cast of really quality players. They play all their home games here too this summer, so if you want to get out and see some great ball from the 15 to 45 year age range, Keller Field here at Dakota Park is the place to go, and those town team and Legion games are free all summer if you go to the websites. Also follow it on the Sun Sailor. There you take a look at the senior Ryan, the DePaul recruit. Mahmoud, that ball chopped towards third. So Mahmoud gonna face Ryan here, 0-1. Again, one down here, bottom of the 6th inning. We're tied at 1 after the steal. Here you take a look at Dvorak, who got a nice sized lead. I thought an excellent move on the 2-2 pitch. You think they're going to throw to the left-hander Listiak a breaking ball. Tough to throw down and get the speedy Dvorak. You get him down to second with nobody out. Kickoff that time by Murnham. He stumbles off the mound, throw through. Dvorak gonna beat the throw to third with a wide tag, as you've got 3 feet on either side of the angle of the base. And when you watch the replay of the pickoff attempt by Mahmoud there, he picks off nicely the spin. He stumbles momentarily, makes a nice throw to third, nice tag, but watch the slide. When he's got 3 feet to the left of the bag. Let's see if he's safe. I think he is. Yeah, the tag doesn't titch him till behind the base. So his left hand had gotten in. You've got 3 feet on either side of a direct line between second and third, and he was in that 3 feet realm and reached back with his left arm. Quite a break for St. Louis Park to get picked off by Dvorak, and a nice pickoff move, we should mention. That was a nice spin move by Blake Mahmoud, and he delivered a nice throw to third base. It was a good drop. It was a good tag. It's just that the tag reached him after Dvorak had already touched the inside of the base. He goes in on the kitchen and gets the high pop on the foul ball, just going to drift out of play. Just a huge crowd here for a baseball game. There's got to be probably 150 people easy here, as well there should be. St. Louis Park can win the conference championship with a win. 0-2 to the senior Brent Ryan. We mentioned Brent, 14 hits and 32 at-bats. Just one down. Riley Dvorak to go ahead run at third, and it goes in on the kitchen again, and a nice job timing that and fouling it straight back by Ryan that time. For Brent. That curveball, a 3-2 curveball, an 0-2 curveball popped towards short. Tough sun tonight, and indeed that one is squeezed and put away. So 0-2 gets the breaking ball, and again Ed Kinney with another chance at third. Now here's Derrick. Shea on the year. We mentioned he's going to Concordia St. Paul to join Pat Bordeweg. Also, guy leads the team with 12 walks and a .464 on base percentage. Is third on the team. So 2 out as Mahmoud works around the leadoff trouble, then the steal a second, getting to third, and nice job to retain his composure. You know, he gets a stolen base to get him to second, and then he picks him off, but he gets to third and he's safe. But Mahmoud retires the next batter, and now he's got Derrick at 0-1. Fastball up in the wheelhouse, and that's popped up on the infield. First base side. Oh, and a nice job coming back to catch that as he almost overran that. For Benilde-St. Margaret's was the first baseman, Henry Wolf, but he came back and catches that. So we're leading off, working around a leadoff runner in Riley Dvorak. He retires the next 3 batters, and we headed to the top of the 7th inning. And again, in high school baseball, 7 innings is what we have.
As they head to Bloomington to take on the Kennedy Eagles, 7 o'clock at Red Haddocks Field. We invite you to head to Bloomington tomorrow night and help support St. Louis Park baseball as the Orioles take on the Bloomington Kennedy Eagles at 7 o'clock at Red Haddocks Field. The field is at Valley View Park on the corner of 90th and Nicollet.
Listening to Howard, longtime announcer here at St. Louis Park. Tonight we mentioned was senior night at St. Louis Park. The last regular season game is Monday, May 21st. as Minneapolis Southwest, always a good team, play here at 6 o'clock. So that's Monday, May 21st. Make it out and see the Orioles playing Southwest on Monday, May 21st. And then, of course, on Thursday, May 24th, sections will begin. The section tournament starts on the 24th. Paul, I'm sure you'll be doing a game or two. Yeah, probably. If you can work around all the chaos, right? If you have weather like this, it's not a problem to work for your camera crew. Who do you got on camera tonight, Paul? Kurt, Dina, and Lena. Oh, I guess I don't know Lena. I know, and I don't guess I can't even see Kurt. Kurt, I'm saying hi to you. Dina. All right, here comes Zach Carden for Benilde. Carden, we mentioned him last time. 4 triples on the year for Zach. A couple of home runs. Left-handed hitter. Lefty on lefty matchup. Just misses on that hour half, and he works the count to 2-0. On the season, Carden has got 6 walks along with his 14 hits, so he's got a robust .525 on base percentage. Fouls back that 2-0 offering. I had some stats, some background stats for this game, but I know that Benilde 2 years ago, I believe, was 3rd in the state, and of course Park 2 years ago was section runners up. So, and of course both teams fighting get not only a great seed. Park on the year, as we mentioned, 8-2, and I believe 9-6 overall. They did lose a really close game to Edina. They lost a 1-run game to Hopkins we talked about, and but I believe Mr. Ryan said they'd run off 8 in a row. 3-1 fastball, gonna miss inside just a tad, or up just a tad. And that'll be a leadoff walk for Carden here in the top of the 7th inning. Again, high school baseball, only 7 innings. So that'll bring up Evan Brown for BSM after the leadoff walk for Carden. And Evan Brown, as we mentioned, 382 average on the year, a couple of doubles. If you were tied. Johnny just misses with that one. Likes wearing number 1 on the mound, the lefty. It's kind of an average side lead. Benilde-St. Margaret doesn't have a first base coach, which is interesting considering they're in the 7th inning of the tie game. Can't hear anymore. Is that any better? Okay. Yeah, no first base coach for Benilde. Sorensen looks in. Line shot towards left center, and I think that's going to split the gap, and indeed it is. Extra bases for Evan Brown, and Brown going to hit the second, and a nicely laced double splits the outfield gap for Evan Brown, his 3rd double of the year, and that'll move it to second and third with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. And a courtesy runner for Kyle Flacco. Courtesy runner for BSM after the big double by Evan Brown to left field.
You're welcome, Evan. Oh, we got a new
So Johnny gonna come on out, and we'll see what kind of change the Orioles make on the mound here. So an excellent effort. Just the second hit of the game, that double. So if you just joined us here, top of the 7th inning, Orioles get a run in the bottom of the 1st inning, and Johnny Sorensen scores. Matched in the top of the 2nd by BSM. Both teams with 1 run on 2 hits. And then we'll bring in Luke Boyum. We talked about Boyum earlier, the junior. 19 2/3 on the year, 20 hits allowed, 11 strikeouts, only 4 walks. Only 4 walks in 20 innings for only a junior. And a great strong athletic body. Good hockey player we mentioned as well. There you take a look at the standings. And Paul, if you'll leave that up for just a sec. Chanhasen's only loss in the conference was when they split a doubleheader with St. Louis Park, but I believe it was a 4-point game, and Park outscored them in the cumulative. So if Park wins the game today, I was told by Chad Austin, Park is the outright conference champion. assuming they win their last conference game. So a good chance for that. And you see Benilde right behind them, Jefferson and Kennedy and Chaska. Chaska, one of the best parks in the country for amateur baseball. Really an excellent conference for baseball. Chanhassen won the 2015 state championship. Has 7 players playing Division I baseball right now. Chaska's got 14 or 15 kids playing college ball. Of course, Kennedy is where Ket Herbeck went to high school. Cooper's got 8 or 10 kids in them and playing college ball. So Sorensen goes out in center field on the switch, and again, that's Luke Boyum. You want to get a strikeout here, you're going to bring the infield in a tie game, 1-1. We get back to live action. Orioles going to use the intentional walk rule and intentionally walk number 2. And Clyde Selke, number 8, will now bat for BSM. Selke on the year, 219 average with a couple of triples. Does have some good speed too. Selke. But again, the Orioles gave a complimentary walk to the courtesy runner, who is number 2 for BSM, and they do not have a name on him. Bases loaded, nobody out, 1-0 count. Fastball going to be chopped towards third, and over the head of an outstretched Jacob Stillman, going to plate 1 on the single. And really a Baltimore chop on the fastball is chopped over the head. Stillman having to play in because the infield is in a tie game, and that ball chopped over by number 8. And Clyde Selke's ground ball single is going to move the run. Give him an RBI, keep the bases loaded with no out, and that'll bring up Michael Schmidt, 333 on the average. Boyum delivers a curveball that just misses. Schmidt 5 for 15, 4 RBIs. These teams, again, had a 5-4 game earlier in the season. That fastball going to be popped down the right field line. It looks like it's going to be fair. Tough ball to handle. Indeed, it just pinches foul at the end by a foot or two. Really a no-man land. Didn't look like a long run for the right fielder, as long as Listiak, the first baseman. Ryan, the right fielder, had a long way to go. Again, Michael Schmidt now batting, 1-1 count, and the Orioles finally realizes they haven't had a first base coach the whole inning, so they send over a young man in Matthew Nakbar to coach first. Boyum, the junior, looks in. Fast, just squares away a fastball, just misses the tad. So 1-2 count, and what the doctor needs right now for Luke Boyum is a strikeout or a pop-up with the infield fly rule also in effect, no out. That curveball for strike 3, and he goes to the 1-2 breaking ball and delivers a nasty hook that even if he would have made contact, would have just been a dribbler. So just what Boyum needed. Truman Kinney, here's the third baseman. Fastball just misses for 1-1. So Benilde-St. Margaret's plays the go-ahead run here in the 7th inning. And Kyle Clackle now at third base as the bases remain loaded with 1 out. Pulls the string again, and a nasty breaking ball for Luke Boyum there. I'm sure that's something that his uncle Andy or his dad Toby would enjoy. And happy that he's always been a competitive, strong athlete. Boyum delivers a fastball wrapped towards Dvorak at third. Tough chance for Riley, nowhere to go with that. Throw through over to first base, and he's safe. Slight hesitation, and the run will score. So an infield single is what's going to be called. And a ground ball indeed was just what Michael Schmidt got. So Michael Schmidt with an RBI single. Probably the only play is to third base, but unfortunately their fans, Jacob Stillman wasn't in position to, there was a force at third, and when Dvorak had to go left to right into the hole, his only throw was probably a force at third. But instead he had, and that ball shot towards right field, ground ball. And that's going to play to run on the 4-3 putout. So Shibley, the second baseman with a ground out, going to play the third run of the inning. And indeed, there you take a look at number 2 for Benilde-St. Margaret's. Don't have his name, but he comes around to score. And that'll bring up number 7.
Center fielder, Matt Murnane.
This is Matt Murnane, number 7. Murnane in the season, 282. So that does get a second out Runners at second and third here. 2 down, top of the 7th. Luke Boyam on in relief of Johnny Sorensen, who did a masterful job for 6. Officially 3 runs are going to get credited. That breaking ball is going to be inside. Hunt reaches in to grab it. That ball popped to its foul. I mentioned North's just been scoring a ton of runs lately. 14 against Chaska, 11-0 win against Eagle Sal the other day. Curveball, field foul.
Wait on it.
Rides along at 2 and 2. Second and third, three runs in the 3 runs are in the 7th. Is that any better, Paul?
6, 7, what?
Yeah, I'll try. Test. Wonder if I'm hearing a radio in the background too, like ER2. The whole game I have been so. So full count, 2 outs. Runner at second and third. Boyam with the delivery. Fastball going to be shot hard down the right field line. Ryan with a beat on it towards the right field line and a diving effort on the foul ball. And indeed, we talked to his dad earlier about the surgery, and what a great effort by Brent Ryan in right field to lay out a full extension play. Look at that. Just missed that. He might have dislocated his shoulder, but he went all out for that, that's for sure. Full count, 2 out. Ball hit towards Ryan in right. Ryan going to fight through that. So 3 runs officially going to come across in the top of the 7th inning. 3 hits officially or 2 hits officially for that inning. And Benilde-St. Margaret's moves ahead 4-1 here in the top of the 7th inning.
For the Red Knights in the top of the 7th, 3 runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base.
Couple of left on, so we'll see if the and the Benilde-St. Margaret's, as we mentioned, game means a lot for the Red Knights. They have a 7. This is Truman Kinney now pitching. Number 5, Truman. Oh, I apologize. This is Tino Fialo, number 5. A little bit of background on Tino Fialo. Tino Fialo, this is his 7th game. He must definitively be the closer. 8 1/3 innings, 11 strikeouts with only 5 walks for Fialo. See if I can get any background information. We'll try to find some there. Take a look at the nice crowd on hand today. Big crowd here for Orioles. I am John Fromm. My sons Ryan and Kyle played here, if you recognize the last name. Indeed, a beautiful night here at Derrick Keller Field. And again, you come on out and watch the St. Louis Park Legion team and the high school sections. Will start next Thursday. The last game of the season, Thursday, May 21st, or excuse me, Monday, May 21st. Here, as the Orioles will play Minneapolis Southwest. And then also get a chance to get out to the sections and Legion games and the Parktown team. I believe preseason number 1 in the state. I'm hoping we get a chance to do a game or 2 this year. I know that level of baseball is just phenomenal. Men's Class A baseball, and it's all free down here at Keller. Free is good, right, Paul? Free is good, free is good. I think that's what they say. Or maybe it's free at last, I don't know. So leading off the bottom of the 7th and the last chance for Park as they need 3 to tie. This will be Luke Boyam. Luke a couple at bats on the day. Reach once. See that eye black and that intensity. Into pitch here in the last part of the inning. Luke on the season offensively for Park. 270 roughly with a double. Going to move the count to a ball and a strike as Fialo gets the fastball on the corner. I mentioned 11 Ks in 8 1/3 innings for the Red Knight closer. Got a pretty good fastball, probably riding in at about 81, 82. For Tino Fialo. He's a senior. Pretty athletic build for the right-hander. Closed stance for the pitcher. Boyam with the open approach. Gets that pass on the outer half, push it to 2-2. That ball popped out of play by Boyum. McConnell right along at 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck for St. Louis Park, the third baseman, Jacob Stillman. We talked about him earlier. He was at third when that Baltimore chop went over his head to unfortunately get things going for BSM in that part of the frame. That fastball going to miss up and in. A little chin music goes high. No message sent, but Boyum going to look at Boyum. And indeed, a walk's as good as a hit. Park needs 3 runners, so full count here. That ball up and in, and Boyum going to take that. And indeed, the walk is as good as a hit as he works from being behind in the count. Boyum with the leadoff walk to start the top, bottom of the 7th. And that'll bring up Jacob Stillman, his manager Brian Kelly. Going to look over towards his first base dugout, get a courtesy runner for Boyum. Indeed, I believe, see if we get an announcement on who the courtesy runner is.
For St. Louis Park, running for Boyum, the courtesy runners number 9, Jackson McClain.
Jackson McClain, the courtesy runner, number 9. Jackson McClain, the courtesy runner. And indeed, for Jacob McClain. Heard of Jackson, heard of Jacobs. Fastball going to be taken down at the knees for strike 1 by Fiallo. Stillman on the year. We mentioned 333 for each base once today. Shot towards third, a nice short hop play on a 5-4 high throw, but it lands back down on the base, and the out is recorded at second. We should mention, a really nice job by the third baseman, Kinney, to short hop that ball and deliver a strike down there to Shibley. Watch Kinney on the short hop here if we have this. Really tough short hop, and then Shibley runs hard to the bag. The throw is high, but watch him, he lands right back down on the bag, pulls the back leg through, and most importantly, he lands his back leg, his left leg. And that'll bring up Sledge, Aaron Sledge. So runner McClain remains at first as you take a look at the junior Sledge. That fastball up and away. Sledge just going to miss on that one just a tad. Sam Hunt on deck for the Orioles, the freshman. 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Up and away with that fastball, pushes it to 2-1 to the junior Sledge. Great shot of the intensity, and concentration on the junior. Terrell going to move the count to 3-1, and Terrell also knows he might even take here with a 3-1. You need 2 more runners. You need another 2 more runners because it's a 3-run game. Again, McClain at first with 1 out after the walk to Boyum to lead off the inning. That fastball going to miss, so it should be another free ride. So first and second with 1 out will bring up the tying run. First and second with 1 out. And indeed, here comes Sam Hunt, the 9th grader. We talked about Cam playing on a lot of the Team USA events, and also a Vanderbilt recruit as a left-handed hitting catcher. Big guy. Danny Bissonette going to go out there to talk to him as you see Brian Kelly talking to his runner and runner McLean and his runner at first. Sledge about balls shot towards the gap here because remember, Oilers are down by 3, but you want to make sure you can get first to third on a ball hit to the outfield, and you got to make sure you pick up Coach Kelly on a hit to the outfield if you're running from first. So Hunt, we mentioned Sam, down in the orange and black, the 6'1", 195-pound freshman. Steps in, left-handed hitting catcher. Fastball shot towards left center field, and that's going to play. That's going to play and load him up here with just 1 out. A line shot to left, and that'll load him up with 1 out. Nicely done for all you young hitters as he takes what's offered by the closer Fiala, and he hits a fastball and he lines it the other way when we watch the replay of that. And he'll bring up Sorensen now in center field. Johnny, of course, scored the Orioles' first run with the bases loaded here. That ball was shot. You see a nice low, quick, compact stroke, and he goes with what's offered, which is an 80-mile-an-hour fastball the other way, outer corner of the plate. Tying run on first. Now that the bases are filled, 1 down. Fastball just misses for Tino. Again, this is Tino Fiallo in his 7th game on the mound for BSM. Sorensen going to take that high, so 2-0. Again, if you just joined us, Benilde-St. Margaret's with 3 runs in the top of the 7th inning, 3 runs in the top of the 7th, and a couple of hits, and then the Orioles now have loaded it up. 2-0 count to the senior Sorensen. Fastball just misses on the outer half, so a 3-0 count, just missing on all those offered, so another walk possibility. Sorensen, you almost for sure going to think he's going to take here. The Orioles, of course, need 3 runs, so you especially want that runner on first to get down to second if you can get Sorensen on without registering an out. Even though Johnny's such a great athlete, we mentioned the 3-sport star, and he's also walked, half a dozen times on the season, or 8 times on the season, 3rd behind Derrick, and that fastball going to hit the outer corner. So 3-1 count again. You got Jacob Stiltman at first. Excuse me, at third. Aaron Sledge at second. Ryan at first. That ball, fastball with good velocity. He really amped up on that. Maybe 84 even, 83, 84. Not sure. Find out a little bit more about Tino. Full count, 1 out. Sorensen asked for time. Tonight's home plate umpire does a nice job of doing that. We should mention tonight's home plate umpire. I believe Mr. Anderson, really an admirable job. Does not have a left hand. He literally is an umpire with only 1 hand. That fastball popped foul, so he does everything with the right hand in terms of throwing. So Sorensen peels off that full count offering, and full count, 1 out. Benilde-St. Margaret's with 3 in the top of the 7th to go up 4-1. Sorensen almost for sure going to get a fastball here from the closer, Fiallo. That ball misses, and that'll push the run across and make it a 4-2 game as Sorensen goes down to first. Sledge to third. Stillman scores, so Jacob Stillman scores on that. And that'll bring up the powerful Riley Dvorak. We saw that circus play he made at shortstop earlier in the game for the St. Thomas recruit. So 4-2, 1 down. Sledge at third. Hunt at second. Sorensen at first for the right-handed hitting Dvorak. Fastball going to shave that outside corner. A nice pitch by Fiallo. Tino with a 1.08 whip. That's good. Walks and hits only 9 in 8 innings. Gonna miss it. He almost hits the right foot of Dvorak. You see the Dvorak with that powerful build, 6'2", about 195. Just takes that fastball in, and that'll push the count to 2-1. So 2-1, 1 run in here in the bottom of the 7th on the walk from Sorensen. You got Sledge at third. You've got Hunt at second. Sorensen over at first with Dvorak at the dish. Little momentary break to see if the owl needs to gather himself. Want to make sure you know what you want to throw here, 2-1, and probably by Red Knight coaching staff, brain power gets together and says, you know, give him a little 20, 30-second spell here, pull himself together. 2-1 count. You don't want to go 3-1 here. Tying run already at second. Winning run at first. 1 down. Fastball chop, bounce towards third. Out is registered, and we're going to have a double play registered to end the game on a kind of a jam job back to the pitcher. I thought the ball was hit the ground first. Should have been a forced play. The umpire calls it an out, even though it was a bounce. So double play for Benilde-St. Margaret's registered on that, and that'll give BSM. Good to see you, John Gordon, as we talk baseball. Good to see you. And that'll end the day here. But a great, valiant 7th inning by both teams as BSM played 3 in the top of the 7th. And the Orioles valiantly come back. The Dvorak ground ball, I believe the ball bounced, and the ball, it should have been a throw to home for the first out and then having to throw through. But the umpire called it was a catch. I'm almost positive he short-hopped it. Positive he short-hopped it. I guess not. Well, I guess not. My mistake. He did catch it, I guess. Ben Sledge thought the same thing all along, and then obviously, yeah. But I tell you what, Dvorak got his hand sawed off a little bit. And for our other announcers today, for John Sandbo, for Court Ryan, for Amy Dvorak, and for others that stop by, make sure you come on out on Monday, May 21st, as that'll be the last home game of the season against Southwest. And then Park will start the playoffs roughly next Thursday or Friday, the 24th, 25th. So check the website, gopark.org. Go to gopark.org if you want to know the times. And then go to ParkTV.com if you want to find out more replay times of this game. Call Paul Broden at 952-924-2635, or if you want to get a copy of the game. I believe if 3 or more are ordered, they're only $10 a piece, and sometimes if a group wants to buy them, who knows, you can get a better deal as parents. Or they make a great stocking stuffer, especially if you mute the volume at different times. So good game though, and Park gives up 3 in the top, but they load the bases, they come back, and make sure you get out and watch Oriole baseball. We'll see you next time out here at Keller Field.
Once again, the totals for tonight's game: 4 Benilde-St. Margaret's, 4 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, 3 runners left on base. For St. Louis Park,
introducing a breakthrough in time management technology. A whole new day of the week. It's called Someday. Ingenious. Perhaps someday you were going to go skydiving. Enter a hot dog eating contest. Maybe ride a mechanical bull. Now, it's on the calendar. You may want to retire someday. Ready for that? You'll really want this. A My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov. You can estimate your future benefits, plan for your retirement, and how to save for it. If you already receive benefits, you can manage them online. Millions of people already have a My Social Security account. In fact, someone opens one about every 6 seconds. Get yours today, because someday is here at socialsecurity.gov.
enjoy tonight's senior night ceremony, which will be honoring 8 St. Louis Park seniors and their parents. These fine young athletes have devoted the last 3 to 4 years of their time, talent, and dedication to the St. Louis Park High School baseball program. And now we will recognize the 8 senior St. Louis Park Oriole baseball players. First up is Jacob Stillman with his parents, Amy and Marty. Jacob would like to thank his family and friends who have supported him on and off the field. His favorite part about high school baseball is spending time with teammates and beating Wayzata last year. Jacob will be attending the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor next year. Jacob Stillman.
Did you see that? I wasn't even looking either.
What happened?
I hear it coming. I didn't know which foot to lift up.
What happened?
I was just looking this way. Hank rolls the water bottle.
Next up is Johnny Sorensen and his parents, Kelly and Glenn.
Yes.
Johnny would like to thank his family, especially his parents, for always supporting him. He would also like to thank Toby Boyum for always making his presence known and getting Johnny ramped up. Johnny's favorite memory was beating Wayzata last year on Little League Day. Wayzata was the #1 team in the state at that time. St. Louis Park won on a walk-off, and it was also prom night. Johnny Sorensen. Next up is Brent Ryan and his parents, Lori and Court.
Neighbor and Mason, take water. Shibley, grab the water.
His favorite memory is beating Wayzata on Little League Day last year. He would like to thank Aaron McEachran and Tom Spade for helping him mature as a person and as a baseball player. Brent will be playing baseball next year at DePauw University in Indiana. Brent Ryan.
Evan. Is this one of you?
Next up is Shay Derrick and his parents, Melody and Dean.
Evan, go get your cupcakes. Evan, go get your cupcakes.
Shay would like to thank his parents and coaches for helping him get through high school. His favorite memory is hitting a walk-off and beating Washburn to advance in the playoffs and playing at Siebert Field last year. Shay will be playing baseball at Concordia University, St. Paul next year. Shay Pekarik. Next up is Ian Sambo with his parents, Linda and John. Ian would like to thank his parents for all the support they have given him through the years. Ian's favorite memory of high school baseball was when St. Louis Park made the section final. Next year, Ian will be playing baseball at Hamlin University. Ian Sambo. Next up is Zach Listiak and his parents, Mike and Jennifer. His favorite high school memory was playing at US Bank Stadium junior year. It was a fun experience, and they won. He would like to thank all his coaches through the years and his parents for pushing him to be the baseball player he is today. Zach will be attending Bemidji State University. Zach Listiak. Next up is Riley Dvorak and his parents, Amy and Todd. Riley thanks his family for coming to his games and thanks his mom for taking great pictures. Riley's favorite memory so far of his high school career was pitching and winning in the games at Siebert Field last year. Riley will be playing baseball at the University of St. Thomas next year. Riley Dvorak. And tonight's final senior is Liam Savanich, who is here tonight with his family. His favorite memory from his high school baseball season was last year, when he had long hair and his hat would not fall off. He is looking forward to heading to Normandale next fall to get some general coursework completed. He would like to thank his coaches through the years. Liam Savanich. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice hand for the 8th senior St. Louis Park High School baseball players and their parents. We wish them the best of luck the remainder of the season and in their future endeavors. Refreshments will be served to the left of the press box in just a few minutes. We also remind fans once again the Orioles return to action tomorrow night against the Bloomington Kennedy Eagles.